Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's get this set up here. What's up, everybody? Here we go. Here we go. Wait a second here as everyone is getting filed in to the stream. I hope your week was well. Don't save. Getting this set up. You always got to have a backup plan, right? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show. Glad you guys are here. Ooh, baby. It has been a week, has it not? I have not posted recently because I was on vacation. The happiest place on earth, Disney World. Took the family to Disney World, and what a trip we had. I will talk to you about that on a different post. I want to detail the entire Disney World vacation for you. Some things you will care about as tourists and visitors and parents. Other things will include social commentary on some of the things that I had seen. Oh my goodness. But now let's talk about the topic at hand. Yesterday, I was on Ariel Helwani's MMA show, the Helwani Show on ESPN. And I received a text message from Mr. Helwani last Monday saying, "Hey, Mike, do you care to respond to what George had said?" I said, "What are you talking about, man? I'm in Disney World. We're heading to the Magic Kingdom for the princess dinner. What negativity has Zero Integrity George drum up for us today?" So he sent me a quick clip to which I watched it, and I laughed inside. What a silly person this is. And I'm not going to waste a lot of the time here to detail how silly this person is. I'll allow you to ask questions. I will happily answer those questions. But I wanted to direct you guys to go and listen to Ariel Helwani's MMA show on the ESPN MMA channel here on YouTube. And for those listening on the Mike Dolce Show podcast, it is on the YouTube channel. If you're a member of our email list, I have sent out a link, and also on Twitter. This is not something I'm going to spend too much time on. After today, I'm likely never going to talk about it again unless Zero Integrity George decides to create a larger issue, and I will continue to talk about it. What is interesting is the things I discussed with Ariel on the 30-minute show is probably 10% of the stuff that I know. I just gave a brief overview. I gave just enough information for you good people out there and members of the media and industry to see that we have the facts, and the facts by far are on our side. Now, I can go a lot deeper, and I can really start to pull back the curtains on everything that we know, and there's some nasty stuff back there. I don't think there's a need to at this point. Should there be a need in the future? Well, hey, and it's all part of the public record, and that's the beautiful thing. The information that I have access to is pretty easy. You get a savvy tech person, you get a few people out there that are good friends of the team and the community, and they start doing a little bit of research. You would be surprised at what comes up. Even things that were thought to be scrubbed from the internet. Of course, they're not. They're always there. The nasty, vile, unprofessional, unscrupulous levels to which this person has gone in order to prop up their false business is truly disappointing. That being said, I think I said my piece on Ariel's show. I answered all the questions that Zero Integrity George had brought up. Remember, this was an unsolicited attack against us, which just allowed the opportunity for us to discuss the facts of the true situation. Facts, I mean, nothing beats facts, right? And we have all the facts on our side. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing to see how it all went down. And I almost felt bad. Almost. So let me answer some of your questions, whether it's on that topic, the topic of zero integrity, George, maybe some of the points that I raised on Ariel's show, the hospitalizations of his athletes, the vast amount of weight cut misses of his athletes, the clear lying in trying to sell his DVD programs, claiming that he has never has an athlete ever missed weight while following his system. I mean, we have at least 24 athletes that we're peripherally aware of, or instances of weight cut misses, not to mention hospitalizations, athletes being pulled from cards completely, and even athletes in world title fights being removed from the card due to the extreme measures of weight cutting practices that were employed. The list goes on. And that's the scary thing. And that's why I am vocal about it. It's because the damage it's doing to the athletes, the damage it's doing to the sport. And by no means do I think there is any competition. I'm all too happy to tell athletes to hire a Dr. Andy Galpin, a Dr. Corey Peacock, Mr. Rob Wolf, Dr. John Berardi. As far as their weight management, nutrition needs go, there are more than enough athletes and clients to go around for sure, but you must avoid the dangerous ones, guys and gals. So do your own research, which is why I talk the way that I do. Let's answer some questions here. The Mexican, how are you, Mike? I'm doing great. How are you? Roman Graham, what's up, Roman? Marcin, big up from London. London, I'm coming your way. I'm coming your way in the fall. Wayne Edwards, what's up, big dog? All's well. Wayne Jason, what's up, my brother? What's up, Mike? How have you been? Amazing. Great job on Ariel's show. You really showed how to handle trolls and bullies. Well, that's the important thing. I didn't make any accusations. I didn't speak with emotion. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny. I had some fun with it for sure, but I just used facts. And I made sure that everything I said was on the public record. I made no statement that was not on the public record, that was not easily searchable on the internet, and all the information was there that was reported by multiple third-party sources. Everything I said can be easily found on the internet, and it's all true. And that's the sad thing, and that's the interesting thing. And hopefully the MMA media picks up on that and they start doing their job to protect the athletes and tell the truth. Just tell the truth. That's all they have to do, is tell the truth. And it's all out there. It's all out there. So I appreciate it. Facts and class will win every argument every single time. Facts and class, guys and gals. That's what it's about. John Doe, you crushed it on Ariel's show. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. Daphne thought you kept it professional, solid interview. That was what it was about. It was being professional. There's no reason for me to stoop to the level of zero integrity, George. My goodness, like I said, he's still trying to win the 6th grade spelling bee while I am out as a tenured professor at Harvard, metaphorically speaking. That's the difference in our attitude, in our professionalism, in the way we walk this planet, and our view on life. He's still swimming around in the dirt, and I'm up here, living amongst the clouds. And I say that respectfully, that everyone has the ability to do so if we simply elevate our mind, we elevate our language, we elevate the circles in which we run. Everything becomes better. Now, those of you who did watch Ariel's show, I would suggest you leave a positive message on our behalf on his YouTube channel. Go and have fun on the comment section under that video on Ariel's YouTube channel of this episode. Leave comments, but keep them classy, keep them factual. Do not swim in the mud with those fools. Be honest, be open, be classy, but go and have some fun over there, because it's and I know Zero Integrity George. He does have a few trolls with catfish accounts, to which my team has already identified, and we've seen that they've attacked us and defamed us and slandered us for years. So we're certainly aware of that, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys are real people, so have the real people go on there with facts and class. Daf says, who do you think Andrade should fight next? Joanna, Tatiana, rematch with Rose, or Watterson? I would be open to a rematch with Rose if Rose was open to it. Anytime you have a dominant champion like that, I felt Stipe deserved an immediate rematch. If you have a dominant champion, I would like to see the dominant champion get the rematch. If the fight ended in such a manner, I felt Rose was clearly winning the fight, so I would say it was very well matched. She got caught, as all mixed martial artists can get caught. Stipe versus DC, that was an interesting fight. I think, again, Stipe deserved that. It wasn't a blowout. We've seen blowouts before. That certainly wasn't a blowout. And the defending champion, I think, is worthy of consideration. Not every time, but worthy of consideration in a fight like that. So I'd like to see Rose go out there. Who else is next? I don't think Joanna has done enough yet to get back up there. I think Joanna needs one or two more big wins because Rose beat her pretty soundly twice, meaning Joanna had multiple chances to come back and try and reclaim her title. Tatiana versus Watterson. Yeah, those two are up there. I don't know. I have to brush up just a little bit more on who their last three fights were, but I think those ladies, they're certainly in contention. But maybe Watterson versus Tatiana, that's the fight to make right now to see who the true number one is. David Keller says LOL. Jason, how do you stay up to date on the latest nutritional science? Is there a particular newsletter you sign up to or a website to keep up with? Well, I have a great network of coaches that I'm friends with, which is awesome. Running the DDCs as we do every other month, 6 times per year, allows me to sit in a room of very well-informed individuals. Having our lead dietitian, Miss Meg 40, MSRD, LRD, DDC. I'm having Meg on board. She always does a great job and forwarding me the newest research that comes out of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And then I do spend about 3 hours per day doing my own research, and it really depends on what we're focused on. So we're aware of all the basic academic information. We're aware of most of the important studies that affect us, and then we always dig a little deeper into the projects that we're working on specifically. David Keller says zero integrity, George. Exactly. Shane, coach, good shit, man. What are your thoughts on creatine? Should I be taking it? My goal is to get to 170. I'm at 185 right now. Well, I would never tell you that you should or should not be taking a supplement. You need to make that decision on your own or with the supervision of your doctor. Me personally, I do like creatine, and I do feel 5 grams of creatine per day is actually beneficial. And there's a lot of good science that supports that. From a performance perspective, from a health perspective, taking in small amounts of supplemental creatine has been shown through some scientific studies to boost health and longevity. Of course, athletic performance goes along with that. Def, what are your thoughts on peptides, more specifically BPC 157 and TB 500? Ben Greenfield has articles on both of them. I don't believe there is enough long-term science to support them. That's the thing. Now, I know Ben likes to push a lot of the fringe topics, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's not the way that we play the game. We want to look for long-term studies, long-term effects. So we don't know what the long-term effects are of peptides and of SARMs right now. What are the long-term effects? The dosing is not even known long-term. So what happens? Maybe you're taking a dose right now that does show short-term improvement, but 10 years later, certain health issues arise as a result of that. And that is happening right now with some of these supplements, one of which is cardarine. So you might know cardarine. Cardarine is very well known in the gray area health and sports supplement market. Now, cardarine is not something I suggest, not something I endorse, but it's something that was interesting due to its cholesterol lowering properties. That's how we first really fall upon this stuff. We look more in the longevity side, and we saw that it has a greater uptake in oxygenation of the working muscles, delivering greater oxygen to the working muscles. It may allow for greater loss of stored body fat. Wow, it improves your cardio. It allows you to lose body fat, and it lowers your total cholesterol and your bad LDL cholesterol. Well, that's very interesting. Also, there is a threshold with which it dramatically improves your rate of cancer. That falls off the list immediately. What is the dosage then? Well, people, now is where you get a lot of bros. A lot of bros are like, well, I took 20 mgs or 50 mgs or 100 mgs and I'm fine. For now, this year, this decade, but who knows what happens as a result of that. That's why we stay away from those. Jason Myers, have you been on Dave Ramsey's show? I have not yet been on Dave Ramsey's show. I do predict I will be on Dave Ramsey's show in the future. And I may even wind up working with Dave Ramsey one of these days. I think we are very well aligned in many areas of our life, many philosophies. And you guys may or may not know, I was actually voted most Christian-like of my graduating class. How about that? So I think we would actually fit in rather well. Wayne says the truth will set you free. Facts, baby. It's all about the facts. Facts in class. Always bond point. Hey, Mike, what's up? Do you think it's possible that someone busted for PEDs like TJ could have done it without the knowledge of his strength and conditioning coach? I think that would be unfair for me to say because I cannot say for sure. And I would not want to speculate as that would not be fair. The better a coach knows an athlete, the greater the likelihood the coach would notice there's an anomaly, but that might be difficult. I don't know how TJ normally is. Maybe he was going through stressful periods in his life prior to that, and he got everything in line, and the coach saw there was an improvement, and it was written off as well. Now he's getting his sleep, and he's not stressed out anymore. That's how we're seeing a 3%, 5%, 10% improvement along all of these metrics. I don't know, but it would be unfair to say that for sure, and we want to avoid that. Jacoby, in my 5th trimester of chiropractic school, Mike, less than 2 years to go, I will be running my future practice like the Dolce diet and not like Zero Integrity George. Jacoby, you are a very smart person. Thank you for that. And if you ever want to come through to one of our Dolce diet certification and nutrition conferences, we talk about how to build your business, how to build your practice, how to run a cash flow positive health and fitness business and scale that, how to grow it at scale at the speed of cash without going into debt, how to pay off some of your heavy college debt, which you most likely have right now. But also we teach a college level course on nutrition and dietetics with real world examples that my team has amassed over the last 20 years. But we do get many chiropractors, many PhDs, many MS students, many MDs even come through this program. MDs and DOs come through this program. Seth, what's up, Seth? Good to see you. Q-tip, is it possible for Daniel Cormier to transform his physique? Absolutely. I used to weigh 282 pounds, roughly 40 pounds heavier than Daniel Cormier, and I'm the same height as Daniel Cormier, right? I went from 282 down to 169, and right now I live between 205 and 215. I graduated high school at 210. How about that? How do you think Kevin Lee will look at 170? I'm iffy about betting on this fight. My guy says Lee. I think Lee's going to look awesome at 150, 70. I think 55 was too small for him. I think Kevin Lee is going to look amazing. I think all these lightweights are going to blow up to 170 like Pettis just is and like Mike Chiesa just did and look awesome and feel awesome. Because you got to remember, these 55 pounders, they train with the 70 pounders anyway. They train with the bigger guys anyway. And most of these 55 pounders are walking around in the mid 70s to mid 80s most of the time. And guys and gals, if you appreciate this video, if you like the content I'm sharing, feel free to leave a thumbs up. That lets me know you care, and hopefully it helps YouTube know that you guys actually care about this channel. And if any of you have information, I've heard that if you link out to Instagram or Facebook in the bio, I'm actually gonna have to change that moving forward, that YouTube actually holds your channel down because there's some sort of internal tech war between Google and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, two polar opposites. If you guys know about that, feel free to let me know. Joshua, hey, Mike, just getting back into the gym after falling off 5 years ago when I had my first child. I can't get into the gym every day like I used to, but wondering if push-pull would be a good start. Push-pull is awesome. I love the push-pull. I train push-pull legs 6 days a week. Push Monday, pull Tuesday, legs Wednesday, push Monday or push Thursday, pull Friday, legs Saturday. Sometimes I will throw a day off in between. I'll go push, pull, off, legs off, push, pull, off, legs off, push, pull, off. Because when I train my legs, I go pretty crazy. But what I've been doing, because my legs are rather large, genetically, I'm predisposed to big thighs, big ass, big hamstrings in a good way, big calves, thank God. And I never missed a squat workout. I'd miss a bench workout, no problem. I wouldn't care about that. Miss arm workout, no problem. Didn't care about that. I never missed a squat workout. I never missed a deadlift workout, ever, 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 ever. So, and you can tell if you kind of see my physique. So now I'm at the stage that I can detrain my legs a little bit, or my legs grow so rapidly I'm trying to keep them in line with the rest of my body because I don't need to be that lower body heavy. And I do a lot of running now. Since my hip is feeling so much better, thanks to the team over at Thrive Sports and Spine Rehab, also to the Muscle Magician Ray. Thanks to my team that's helped build me back, get me back into place, and get my hip back moving again. I've been doing lots of work in the sand, lots of runs in the sand, and that is a lot of my leg training now, which is why I train legs probably once every 10 days or so, but I train upper body twice in that period of time. John Doe, a physique like Ben Askren, is it just genetic, or is he not doing all he can to optimize his body? Well, I think it's both. I think Ben has found what works for him. I don't think anyone will say Ben is not strong for the weight class. I don't think anyone will say Ben is not in shape for the weight class. I mean, he's such a high level competitor. I think he's doing everything well, but I think his genetics allow him to look the way he does with the style of training that he's at. And I think that's, a good fit for him. So I don't see any reason why Ben Askren needs to make any dramatic changes. I think he always needs to improve, just like we all do and every athlete does. But I don't really care. When I see a guy like Ben, who's a competitive athlete, I know that's going to be a tough guy. I know that's going to be an athletic guy. I know that's going to be a strong guy. I know that guy is going to be in shape. When I see the big muscle heads, I'm like, they're going to fail somewhere. Usually the muscle heads are not as strong, their absolute strength is not as high as their sport specific strength. And usually their endurance is not as high. Someone like Ben, that's a scary physique to compete against. And any competitor out there, specifically wrestlers, that's a tough physique to compete against. Should someone with diabetes take HGH? I would say absolutely not. Or I should say not without a doctor's endorsement. So what does that mean? That means if you're going to take something, if you're going to take any exogenous pharmaceutical, you need to be under a doctor's care and always get a second opinion. That's the most important thing. And never take a pharmaceutical until it is the last resort. Try and make holistic changes in your lifestyle before you resort to pharmacological intervention. Dragon says, solid advice on the creatine dosage. Boom. Thank you. That's what I do. It's my job. Light, thoughts on 5x10 on the squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press for size. 5x10 is too much. 5 sets of 10 repetitions. My God, that's way too much volume if you're training at a relatively decent weight. I mean, if you're training at 70+%, that's going to be a grind of a workout. And to do that much on all those lifts, I would try and say, here's what I like to do. I like to do a 4x6, a 5x5, a 3x8, or a 2x12. What did you notice there? I'm keeping my total reps at 25 or below, right around mid-20s. That's about the cap. Me personally, I like the 4x6 better than I like the 5x5, simply because it's very hard as a high-end intermediate or an advanced athlete to hit a 5x5 at max weights, because you're training close to 90%, like 87+% if you're hitting a 5x5. It's hard to maintain that type of intensity over 5 sets, which is why I like the 4x6. You can train with slightly lighter weight and you can take one set away. That allows a much more safe and I believe greater neuromuscular efficiency, allowing for more efficient adaptation, a safer adaptation. Now, we'll also drop that down. I love the 8x3s also, 8 sets of triples. But that's only for like our power lifters and strength athletes. I hope that helps. Is creatine better to take than BCAAs? Absolutely. I would never take a BCA. I never take a BCA supplement. BCA supplements are a waste of time. Simply take a grass-fed whey protein isolate. It contains all 3 BCAAs and the additional assortment of essential amino acids. Antidepressant says, what's up, Mike? I hope you are great. As always, great interview yesterday. Why do you think Conor McGregor works with zero integrity, George? Well, from the information I have, that relationship will not last much longer. I have heard from multiple sources behind the scenes that Conor has become increasingly disappointed with zero integrity, George, for many reasons. And these reasons I'm not going to share publicly, though I do believe, and I've heard from multiple sources. I'm not going to share those right now because, it is what it is. But that's what I've heard. Now, what I will say as an aside to that, any thinking person is going to look at Conor McGregor and say this is one of, in my opinion, Conor McGregor is a Hall of Fame athlete. He's one of the best athletes in combat sports, not just MMA, but all of combat sports. He went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather and looked pretty damn good. He knocked out Eddie Alvarez, the Underground King, one of the pound for pound top lightweights on the planet for many years. He knocked out Jose Aldo when Jose Aldo was the number one fighter at 145. He knocked out Chad Mendes and had to go through war to get there. Yes, he was beaten by Khabib Nurmagomedov. Yes, he did lose to Nate Diaz, but then came back and beat Nate Diaz, who was a perpetual top 155 pounder and 170 pounder. Conor McGregor is an excellent high-level athlete, and he has great skills coaches around him. John Kavanagh is an excellent coach. Owen Roddy is an excellent coach, and he has a great strength and conditioning team around him. Now, all that being said, Conor's a great athlete. His teammates are absolutely amazing. They push him to the brink of his potential. He has great skills coaches around him. Why does Conor McGregor chronically tire out midway through his fights? Is it because he's not tough? Nope, he's tough. Is it because he doesn't have the genetic ability to do so? Nope, he's proven that before. Is it because he's getting poor training advice from his skills coaches? Nope, he's got some of the best in the world. My opinion, why Conor gets tired and gasses out and slows down midway through his fights is because he is being improperly fueled. And that's the truth of it. That's the truth of it. And nearly every credible nutrition, weight management, strength and conditioning expert I've spoken to and I've heard talk has the exact same opinion as I do. Even those I've never had a conversation with, all the same opinion. They all feel he is being improperly fed, improperly fueled, which is why he runs out of energy midway through his fights. Chronically does so. And that's too bad. And then he has to dig deep and he has to rely upon his heart and his guts to get him through instead of having an adequately filled fuel tank. And that's not Conor's fault. And that's not a criticism against Conor. The only criticism I would have against Conor is that he has too big of a heart, that he hasn't made the coaching staff changes he needs to in order to make sure he's getting fed properly. And I'm not trying not to be biased here, though I have very little good to say about Zero Integrity George. This just goes to the lack of skill that Zero Integrity George has. I just don't believe, and I've said this many times, and his resume clearly shows that he does not have the knowledge or experience in that allows him to properly serve top athletes. Time and time again, we see his athletes that are hospitalized and pulled from cards completely due to the extreme nature of his weight cutting protocols, the extreme calorie deficiency, the extreme dehydration process, the extreme stress and wear and tear that the athletes succumb to during these hellacious weight cutting protocols. And I think Conor is a victim of that also. Conor's just so goddamn tough, he's able to win in spite of being improperly fed. Always on point. Cool, Mike. Doff says, what are your thoughts on BMX riding for your knees, specifically uphill climbing? I feel it does wonders for my cardio and explosivity. I think it's probably great. I've had some friends, and even we've worked with some athletes going back probably about 8 to 12 or so years ago. We've worked with some of those athletes. Crazy. It's a crazy sport, man. It's a crazy sport. I used to have a BMX bike back in my early days in the 80s, 80s and 90s, I guess you could say, to date myself here. It was all about the BMX bike in those days. And man, we would just ride everywhere. We would be like a 20-mile radius from our front porch. We'd be everywhere, every hill, every puddle, every riverbank, every dock, every highway, every sidewalk, every jump. We'd be on them. So it's a gangster sport. Big Gucci says, loved you on Ariel's show, even saw you in the comments. Oh, yep, right on, Big Gucci, right on. And if any of you guys have watched the Ariel Helwani MMA show, yesterday's MMA show with me on there, feel free to go and leave comments on that YouTube page. It will be nice to see you guys on that page sharing your opinion. Be classy, be factual, but I would love for you to jump over onto Ariel's page and share your opinion on the segment that I had talking to Ariel about the facts of the issues with Zero Integrity George and how out of line he was to even mention my name. Unsolicited. I'm in Disney World and the guy's talking about punching me in the face, yet he should be talking about punching Ian Kidd. Infamous, defamed, disgusting POS dirtbag Ian Kidd, who worked for Zero Integrity George. They were writing 2 books together, traveling the world together, staying in hotels together, talking on the phone for hours per day together, right? He doesn't want to punch that scumbag in the face. He wants to punch me in the face. How about that? Isn't that fucking weird? That pisses me off. What advice would you give to someone who has the diabetes where you can get rid of it? You need to be working with a doctor. You need to be under medical care, medical supervision. This is not something I can do on a YouTube channel right now. We have the registered dietitians on staff that are more than capable and more than happy to talk to you immediately. If you go to dolcedietshop.com, you can click on the one-on-one consultation, and you can work one-on-one with one of our registered dietitians. You can also move on into the 8-week My Diet program, in which you work with your own personal registered dietitian who builds you your specific meal plan. This is in conjunction with your medical team. We work with your medical team. We liaise with your medical team. That's why I have registered dietitians on staff that are licensed to practice what is known as medical nutrition therapy. They are educated in your specific health issue. That's why we have them on our team, and they are there for you. Tony, I'm excited to meet you, brother. Excited to meet you. Castor Troy, to be honest, George can barely string a sentence together. Sounds like a total moron. Don't know why any athlete would engage him without the alarm bells going off. Well, there's a few reasons why, and I'll share them. Number one is because George works for tweets half the time. George's price changes dramatically, and some of the athletes don't know that. He can squeeze $1,000 from some athletes, and other athletes he'll have them pay him $200 and a few tweets. Wouldn't you be pissed if you found out the dude in the hotel room next to you only had to pay this guy $200 or nothing and just shoot a few tweets out there, when you had to come out with $1,000 for pieces of chicken that were cooked 3 feet from the dude's shitter? Because that's what they do when they're cooking inside a hotel room. They're cooking right next to the shitter, right in the bathroom, and you can see that on the embedded videos. This is not healthy. This is not clean. This is not hygienic, right? This is not even legal. Truly, it's not even legal. But that's part of what they do, and that's on the embeddeds. Again, this is in the public record, and no one will deny that. Could you imagine that? That's why the UFC PI and Trifecta partner together to have true, healthy, hygienic food created under, I believe it's all cooked in culinary, in commissary kitchens, or they take over the kitchen of the hotel with which they're working, and they create these professional relationships. Everything is done at the highest possible standard. They're not cooking chicken 3 feet from the fucking toilet, which is absolutely disgusting. Adrian, does anyone know in here if G Fuel is any good? I think it's disgusting. Big Gucci, if it's neon, it's not good for you. Amen. Eli, what's up, Eli? Adrian, he has a video on it, the neon. I'll check it out. Exactly. Neon, Taylor, Seth, not sure about that. The YouTube algorithm is all over the place. It is all over the place. So I'm just going to slowly pull it down. Real says, what are your thoughts on regular gym rats, non-UFC fighters using TRT at 250 milligrams a week? Also, have you ever met Dave Palumbo, worked with Dave Palumbo? No, I've actually never personally met Dave Palumbo, though we were in the same parking lot one time back in New Jersey in the late 90s, I think. He was guest posting at a bodybuilding competition, and one of my buddies was competing there, and I was going to support my buddy. That was the biggest human I ever seen in my entire life. Dave Palumbo was so big, it was scary. I was like in shock. I couldn't imagine a human was that fucking big. It was crazy. I could see the fibers of his fucking thighs flexing through his pants. It was insane. It blew my mind how big this dude was. But 250 milligrams of test per week is a lot. The typical dose of TRT is half that, or even less than half that. Less is always best. I would be shocked if someone's taking 250 milligrams of test per week under a doctor's supervision. Most TRT doctors are going to prescribe anywhere between 50 and 100 milligrams every 7 to 10 days. That would be much more reasonable. But again, only if it's medically necessary, and only if it's supervised by a medical doctor who has deemed you a candidate, and you've tried everything you can holistically through lifestyle modification to not use a pharmaceutical before you actually start that. Big Gucci, no problem, Adrian. Check it out. Great video by Dolce, as always. I appreciate that. Thank you. Phoenix says, what's up, the Dolce Diet? Missed last week's live stream. Glad to be back. I was in Disney World last week. That's why. I was in Disney World, the happiest place on the planet, with my beautiful little daughters, and it was awesome. So I apologize. That's why I'm doing one today on Tuesday, and I'll do one again on Friday for you guys. Adrian, sounds good. Right on. Phoenix Peterson. Thoughts on the market recently, man? I'm a drip investor most of the time. I just keep buying every week, every 2 weeks. I just buy. I just drip into my funds. I don't pay attention to the market. I just drip, 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 drip. Don't get caught up in it. I buy when they're high. I buy when they're low. I buy. Now, if I see a 10% reduction, if I see a 10% movement, like we've seen a few of those, I'll stock up. I'll throw a few more digits at the account. Maybe I'll buy some index funds. I know I got some Disney stock back when Disney stock was super low because I knew Endgame was coming. I knew the Star Wars park was coming. I knew the streaming service was coming. Why wouldn't I buy Disney at a premium? Of course. Why wouldn't I? Of course I would. But this is not financial advice. I am not a financial professional, yada, yada, yada. This is just one dude talking. This is me. Just me talking about me for information purpose only. So whatever, be clear on that. What about you? Now I'm really watching the real estate market. I've noticed the real estate market has started to slow down and stagnate a little bit. Days on market has started to increase across the country. I like this. Now, I did buy my home, towards the top of the market, but that's okay because it was exactly the home we wanted, exactly where we wanted it to be, knowing 10 years from now, we'll probably double in price. Even though we bought high, it's going to drop down probably within the next 3 years, and then it'll shoot back up again. Though we have no desire to sell probably in the next 30 years or so, maybe never. We'll probably keep it forever, pass it down to the kids. But I'm definitely looking around the country at investment properties. For those of you who know and those of you who care, that's where we're at. I definitely like real estate most. But it's easy to just drip, you're a few dollars from your paycheck into a diversified mutual fund portfolio, specifically if you have a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k setup. And everyone listening, in my opinion, this is not professional financial advice, but in my opinion, every human, every American should be investing into your Roth IRA and your Roth 401k. You should do your best to max out both of those because that's your retirement money, and it grows tax-free. Mike Sullivan, uninsured blood test. I will let you know by the end of the week. I will have that all done for you. We're tying up that deal right now. Very happy to share that with you guys. Pat Garrett says, sorry, can't find the episode on Helwani. Just type in Ariel Helwani, Mike Dolce in the search bar. It's the most recent episode of Ariel Helwani's Helwani show, the MMA show on ESPN MMA channel. And it's the full episode. I come on somewhere after the first hour or so. It's timestamped. You'll see when I come on. Watch that, and then leave your comments below. Everyone here, all the team, all the members of the community, go to Ariel Helwani's MMA show that I recorded with Ariel yesterday and leave comments on that stream, hopefully positive comments about my appearance. I think you'll be impressed with how I took such dirty, low-down accusations and statements that were made against myself by just an amateur-esque bully, liar, con man, in my opinion. And I just used facts in class to completely dismantle this person. And I only had 20 minutes to do so, which is why I talk fast. There's so much more information I could have shared. But I got a lot more. If it's needed. Let's get these likes up. Phoenix Peterson, thank you. And anyone who cares, you like this video, just give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'm here for you guys. Daf says, have you thought about having a channel for regular videos and one for live videos? Several channels I follow has noticed their regular content has dropped views due to also doing live videos recently. That's interesting. I know Vegan Gains is having that problem, but he's somehow making a shit ton of money. This is the weird thing. Vegan Gains is somehow able to monetize his live streams. Do you guys know how he's able to do that? That's super interesting. It's a great business model on his behalf. I respect the game, respect the hustle. Though I think what he does, he only answers questions when people pay him to do that. Now, that's not fair. That's not cool. And I could be wrong, so I'm not trying to, be overly critical. I get it. I understand the business moxie of that. That's super cool. But me, when I come on here, my goal is to answer every single one of your questions, but I don't rely on YouTube as my primary income generator. I rely on YouTube as just a way I can interact and have fun and talk to you guys, right? I don't make any money on YouTube. I tried to. Here's a funny thing. A few months ago, I tried to demonetize my channel completely. When I demonetized my channel, I said, no more ads, no more nothing. I'm going to completely demonetize all my videos. So then you guys don't get all the silly pop-ups. What happened? YouTube started burying my channel. YouTube's like, oh yeah, Dolce, we'll show you. If you're not going to make us money, we're not going to give you any views then. Which is why I've remonetized my channel, but I only allow the skippable ads. And I don't know enough about that because I never really cared enough to pay attention to how to monetize the channel and what type of ads do better than the other type of ads. And maybe that's why YouTube doesn't recommend us as much as I think our channel deserves to be recommended, simply because we're not playing the monetization game, because YouTube monetizes also. And I get that. I'm not mad at that. I always feel a little weird because I come on here to give you guys free content. I want you to get free content. I want you to get free access to world-class coaching. I'm a world-class coach, four-time world MMA trainer of the year, the cover of Men's Fitness, one of the top 10 most influential in fitness back in 2014. I'm in the New Jersey Martial Arts Hall of Fame. ESPN Lifestyle Changer, Sports Illustrated called me one of the most sought-after coaches in all of professional sports. So many world champion athletes that we've worked with, not just fighters, and Olympic medalists, marathon and freestyle wrestling, and Kieran cycling, and and judo, and Kodokan. Is it Kodokan? I apologize. I always forget the martial arts, the karate. Um, and I'm just trying to give you guys all this free information. So I always get a little weird, with the whole monetizing thing. So to answer your question, I'm so sorry. Maybe I will do that. And I was thinking of breaking off into more of an MMA specific channel, having like an MMA channel and a fitness channel. But I didn't want to do that. I know Nick's Strength and Power broke into Nick's Strength and Vlogs, and he was able to make a very easy transition because his channel is so big and so powerful. And I think he did a great job. And I'm a subscriber to both. I enjoy what Nick puts out there. I don't know that I have the time to do that because it's very time invasive to create. Even here, I'm going to be on here talking to you guys for at least an hour, and then to spend 2 hours per day producing free content, because I try and make it completely free for you guys. That's a little challenging. I'll try and figure out how to do it. And if any of you have insight, please feel free to after this video posts, leave comments below, because this channel is for you guys. This channel is for you guys way more than it's for me. I want to give you everything you need, answer your questions, be as helpful as I can. And if some of you guys have ideas as to specific ideas or instructions as how I can be better for you, please let me know. Billy K says, Dolce, missed my Dolce fix last Friday. Welcome back. Looking forward to your advice and wisdom. Thank you. I was on vacation in Disney World. Real said, how do you see Usman versus Colby? Chaos. Usman looks more muscular, 1 inch taller. Colby always in shape. Is Usman's size too much for Colby? I think that's a good fight, man. I think these guys match up really well, and they don't like each other. They do not like each other. I think it's a good fight. I think they're very well matched up. I would give Colby the striking advantage. I would give Usman the pure wrestling advantage. And I think whoever wins this fight is going to win the scrambles. That's going to be the big thing. Def says, you should get a BMX again. It's fun, makes cardio so much fun. Well, I have a beach cruiser because I live on the beach. And, I probably I do about, 15 or so miles a day, a few days per week, just tooting around town. I get most of my cardio now running in the sand. I got a 6-mile loop. It's 3 miles up and 3 miles back. And sometimes I run it. Sometimes I walk it. Sometimes I bear crawl it. There's different dunes that I hit the dunes. There's multiple fitness stations, push-ups and dips and chin-ups and V-boards that I'll go and hit. Sometimes I'll walk out onto the jetty when it's kind of low tide and it's safe. I'll walk out on the jetty and just, because you got to climb. It's pretty crazy. So and that's more emotional for me than it is physical. But sometimes, I'll push it every day. I'll push something to the point that I feel like I'm going to puke. Lately it's been the bear crawls, man. The bear crawls has been just fucking awesome. Bear crawls in the sand up and down dunes is pretty fucking stupid. If I'm on the bike for too long, my ass, it aggravates my hip. That's kind of one of the funny things. So I got, that nice beach cruiser. I can just kind of coast along and not get too crazy. Let's see. Man, lots of questions. I'm gonna do my best to answer every question right now. Let's see how I can go. I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit here, guys. So if you appreciate this content, if you appreciate the channel, just give me a thumbs up while you're watching. If you're watching live, if you're watching on the replay, just throw a quick little thumbs up. It lets me know you're there. Lets me know you care. And also go and check out Ariel Hawani's MMA show from yesterday on May 13th. The episode that I did with Ariel Hawani. Watch the segment that I did. It is fire, baby. It is fire. And leave a comment under that video on Ariel's channel. It will be nice to see our community on there supporting us. Remember, we were attacked, unsolicited attack. How dare he? And we went out there and crushed him with class and facts. All right, Jalen, what specifically about dairy causes so many people to have issues with it? It is the lactose. It is the triple bound sugar that is very difficult for the body to break down. It's the sugar in milk. That is the biggest problem. It's not the fat in the milk. It's the sugar in milk or in dairy. That is the biggest problem. That's why so many people get jacked up. And in time, many people lose the ability to break that sugar down. As little babies, we have the ability to do that through our digestive enzymes. Those digestive enzymes slowly fade away as we go through adolescence and puberty. They fade away. That's why those who just get severe lactose intolerance, they didn't have that when they were little kids. They were fine when they were little kids, and usually during the teen years when it manifests. Now, typically they say, I forget the more, and this is very, very general, and I don't have the studies here. I studied this like 30 or so years ago, 20 some odd years ago. The more European nations, like Eastern Bloc nations, like the Russians and the Germans and those areas, those people, the fair-skinned community seems to be more lactose intolerant. The thicker skin, the olive skin, like the Italians, seem to be more lactose acceptable. Now, this I don't have the study in front of me. I'd have to do a ton of research probably to pull it back up. And this study might have been eradicated. But what I will say, in my own household, I have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, porcelain-skinned wife who does come from has a Russian heritage and background. I am a Native American and Italian. So that's my family comes from Sicily and from Oklahoma. And that's kind of our little melting pot here, the Dolce melting pot. And I can eat a pound of quart of ice cream and a gallon of milk. I mean, I haven't done so in so long. Dairy doesn't affect me at all. Brandy, if she smells ice cream, she's done. Done. So I don't know. Maybe that's an anecdote, but take it for what it is. But in general, we say we avoid that. Liz says, hi, what do you think of James Charles? All the drama. I don't know James Charles. So, I don't know James Charles. Who is James Charles? I don't know anything about that. And Phoenix says, this just in, health department is knocking on zero integrity George's door. No more feces, chicken, George. That's funny. Doff says, one introduced a criteria managers must meet. Should the UFC consider something similar for dietitians, trainers, and the people are hired to help fighters to ensure competence? They could be, but unfortunately, UFC athletes are independent contractors. Makes it difficult for the UFC to stipulate who they work with. UFC athletes by contract are their own business owners. They are not employees of the company. Therefore, they are not prohibited from working with whoever they want to work with. The UFC could restrict access to UFC events that bars certain individuals, but it would be very difficult for them to do so. Daff says some kind of certification program at the Performance Institute, possibly. I like that. That would be a hell of a lot better. Sock says, is it really that bad to drink out of plastic water bottles? It's better than drinking out of a puddle, I guess you could say. That's why we use a double to triple filtration system in our house. Phoenix, gotcha. I was the guy who was talking about Disney a few weeks back. I mentioned BTC protections in the next bull market going well over 50,000 as well. Have you seen BTC lately? I have not, but I'm actually going to take a note right here. BTC. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. See that? Stock tips. What? Bakkt is releasing an ETF in July, so the big boys in the institutions are going to be getting in. Now, are you pump and dumping right now? Be careful. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know that you are. I don't know whether you are. You're probably being very cool. So we will see. We will see. I will pay attention to this. Exciting stuff, and I love real estate. Best investments to Nate Phoenix. I agree, man. It's cool to talk to some of you guys that understand the markets, understand investing, and see finances for what they truly are. It's not a paycheck to paycheck mentality. Even when you are living paycheck to paycheck, go and read The Richest Man in Babylon. Start there. Save 10%. Take 10% of your paycheck, guys and gals. 10% of your paycheck and pay yourself first. I don't care about your credit cards. I don't care about your car loan. I don't care about your mortgage. I don't care about your baby mama drama. Take 10%, one out of every $10, and you put that into an account, a savings account just for yourself. And you build that. You pay yourself first. You pay your future self first. And watch, you have 90% of your money left. You have $9 left. You can afford to pay all your bills with whatever you have left. That's the truth of it. Sack says, what's healthier, In-N-Out protein style or Chick-fil-A grilled chicken sandwich? Ew, nothing, neither. That's gross. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Just go to the supermarket and grab a bag of cashews. Best ways to increase NEAT when I have recently obtained a sedentary office job. What is NEAT, John? Angel, hope all's well, coach. It's Crypta. What's up, Crypta? Good to see you. My wife and I used your book 3 weeks to shred it and dropped 20 pounds. Gonna buy the online version once I get paid. I was wondering if you had a discount code. Yes, promo code DolceTube. DolceTube, all one word. You will save 10% at thedolcediet.com. So Angel is down 20 pounds on 3 weeks to shredded, 20 pounds in 21 days following 3 weeks to shredded. You can go online right now to thedolcediet.com and follow the most successful healthy weight loss program ever devised. That is 3 weeks to shredded. It is a 4-week personalized program or a 12-week personalized program where you get the 4 weeks of 3 weeks to shredded plus an 8-week version of living lean, completely personalized to you. That is every meal, every recipe, every ingredient and grocery list for your nutrition side, and every workout, every exercise, every set, every rep built specifically for you to get in the best shape of your life. This is all at thedolcediet.com. Promo code DolceTube, save 10%. And I'm always here to answer your questions and coach you along. Hey, and Angel, keep me posted, my friend. Shoot me a DM. Let me know when you're locked in. James, Nate, what's up? SoCal Sat, there is a super chat option for live streaming where people can pay, get their questions highlighted. How do you do that? Like, do you have to have 100,000 subscribers to get to the super chat? Like, I'm staring at the top chat right now, and there's a $ next to my image, next to my profile. I'm not going to hit that, but I don't want to like break the stream right now. Have you ever met Mr. Lorenzo Fertitta? Yes, I have met Mr. Lorenzo Fertitta, and he is one of the most inspirational people I have ever had the fortune to be around. I've learned more during my interactions with Lorenzo Fertitta than any other person I've ever come in contact with. Watching the way this man works, watching the way this man conducts business, watching the way this man lives his life, watching just the way he treated me. Now, here's a fact. Lorenzo Fertitta chose me to be the creator of UFC Fit. Lorenzo Fertitta chose me to be the creator of UFC Fit, to be the face of UFC Fit, to be the brains behind UFC Fit. UFC Fit is the only diet and exercise program ever endorsed by the UFC, and I was hand selected by Mr. Lorenzo Fertitta to do that. That was an honor. That's probably my biggest accolade is being chosen by someone of that stature, someone that smart and that discerning to choose me to do that job. Man, how awesome is that? So I have nothing but amazing things to say in gratitude for Lorenzo. Facts, more zero integrity. George, please. Well, ask a question. I'm happy to answer. I'm not really proactive in running around and talking smack. That's not what I do, but I'll answer questions, honestly. How should height performance MMA athletes eat during training? I don't know what that means. The one dislike was from Zero Integrity George. Always is. It always is. And like I said, he's got a few little trolls, a few little lackeys that do follow him around, but less and less because I've been contacted by some of his lackeys looking for work. How about that? Sandmouse, hi, I have this strange story. I went to my local gym and this weird guy came up to me and grabbed my leg and asked me if he can tickle my muscles. I was so weirded out, I ran home. That's a weird story. That's a weird story. Phoenix Peterson, are you going to do a financial channel for your community? I think that would be sick. You know what's funny is I think some of my best videos were on the financial and on the business side. And I get like I get barely any views. Nobody wants to hear it. Everyone wants to learn how to lose weight and get shredded, even though they're living paycheck to paycheck and they're fucking driving around in a 1986 Hyundai, $300,000 in debt. They don't want to hear how me, a poor kid, a poor blue collar kid from New Jersey, went from living in a home that had no heat, no electricity, no running water, was foreclosed on by the bank, and bulldozed, turned into a parking lot while I was in high school. That's how I grew up. To now running one of the largest, most successful, most reputable health and fitness companies on the planet. And I came back to this very town and I bought a beach house for cash in this same town, in the nice side of town. Nobody wants to hear how I did it. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm happy to tell you guys for free because it's possible. And I have a zero credit score. I have lower than a zero credit score. I have no credit score at all. I don't even show up. I'm a ghost, they said to me. I'm a ghost. I don't even show up at all because I have no debt. I have no mortgages. I have no leases. I have no credit cards. Nothing. Everything I do, I pay for cash. If I can't afford it for cash, I can't afford it. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Did you know in order to have a perfect credit score of 800, you have to have gone at least $100,000 into debt? Did you know that? I kept $100 and I bought real estate and I turned the 100 into 500, the 500 into X, and then the X into X, and the X into X. That's how you do it. No debt. Good looking honky Dolce Peter North here, old porn star, huge fan. Peter North, what's up, my man? How are you doing, brother? Hope all is well. I may be aware. I may be aware of your work, sir. Very cool to see you on here, my friend. Hope all is well. It'd be interesting to know what you're doing now in life. If you ever wanted to hop onto my podcast, I'd be happy to host you and have a chat. I know you're super fit, dude, right? Because that was always a part of your thing. You always fit, you always in shape, always did it. So man, I don't know if you're online or if you have an Instagram, if you want to tag me in an Instagram post or DM me an Instagram, or I think you can leave a message here. Let's see if I can kind of save this. Otherwise, maybe no obligation, brother. But good to see. It's always interesting, to anyone who goes through their career, has one career, very successful career you did, by the way, right? To now be on the other side of the career to see, how life is, look back and all that. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you leaving a comment and appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Good to see you. Phoenix says, go to the settings in your YouTube and you should be able to set up super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. This is how people can donate to your channel. Very cool. Very cool. Good to know. Antidepressants, thank you for answering the Conor question. And another one, generally speaking, do you think it's okay to eat? That's not a word. What's the best meal to eat before a workout to get maximum energy? Carb-loaded meal. Well, it's not always about having carb-loading meals. What we try and do is, I would say maybe an orange and half an avocado works really well. Maybe sprouted grain toast with raw local honey drizzled on top. Maybe it's half a banana and a scoop of peanut butter. It all depends on the workout and depends upon you. Did you ever have bad financial habits? Yeah, I was a regular person, right? I had a couple credit cards. I had a leased car. This was back in the early 2000s. My wife, who I had just married, had tens of $1,000s in college debt. She was maxed out on all of her credit cards, just paying the minimums because that's what you're supposed to do. We had all of that stuff. And we woke up one day and we said, this is ridiculous. This is no more. We're going to change this. And I did follow Dave Ramsey's teaching. It made absolute sense. We were already attacking debt to the best of our ability. And this is going back, I think, 2005. And from that point forward, everything changed. We paid off our debt down to absolute zero, had completely zero debt. And then we kept paying our bank account the same money that we were paying to get rid of debt. We didn't change anything about our lifestyle for years. I drove a 1992 Buick Regal for 6 years. From 2006 to 2012, I drove a $1,200 1992 Buick Regal, white with neon red bench seats. Man, you could see that thing coming from 10 miles away. And I drove that because it was paid for and because it drove. It started up every time I turned the key and the wheels worked, the brake worked. That was the end of it. That was the end of it. My wife was driving a 2005 Kia Spectra. That was the only car sitting on the lot that we could afford to get that done. We saved and we scraped. It had roll down windows and manual locks. Nothing was power on it. It did not even have a DVD player or a CD player. And she drove that from 2006 until 2014. That's real. So when you guys knew me as the Dolce died, famous guy, and he's on stage, and Ronda Rousey and Rampage and all these athletes and TV and all that stuff, that's how I was living. Now, I had the money. I could have upgraded my car. She could have upgraded our car. We could have upgraded other things about our life, but it made no sense because we were focused. We were focused. We had a goal. We were living below our means. We were creating that war chest. We were stacking that cash for the opportunity to start making investments. And that's exactly what we did. So by the time I was 35 years old, I was, capable of retiring if I wanted to, capable of changing my life. And then I was able to start living the life I wanted to live, not living the life I had to live. We could start making some changes and go on. And I'm happy to share all this stuff for you guys. But, some people don't want to. Some people do want to hear it. Some people don't want to hear it. But that's kind of my story. And I am writing a book on this. That it's to be determined as far as the release date. But I've already started. I got about 20,000 words already. That pre-edited words, right? So that'll probably chop down to about 12,000 words. I'd like to have 30,000 edited words total. So you'll see. Something will come out. Region says, when working with Galen Rupp, anything you learned or we should keep in mind working with high-level distance runners compared to fighters or other athletes? The nutrition, they need to typically eat more than most people think. And also their training, their strength training has to be very specific with Galen. I won't give too much information. And it was an amazing opportunity working with Nike because he was running for Nike and Coach Salazar and his amazing team. I have nothing but amazing things to say about them. It was an honor to be a part of that crew. But while working with Galen, what we were able to do, we were able to feed him dramatically more food than he was accustomed to eating, which allowed him to run farther, faster, and also drop his body fat. We fed his lean muscle tissue. His strength coaches did such a great job in changing the aerodynamics of his body, which was awesome. So changing his shoulder and chest circumference, bringing that in just a little bit to eliminate some of the wind resistance. This is how highly specialized this training was. And it was awesome. It was awesome working with this team. Dude says, Peter is a huge fan. What's up? That's awesome. Awesome. Very cool, Pete. Jordan O'Connor. Thoughts on George calling you on an Ariel's show for a fight? I reckon you get the W. Jordan O'Connor, go. I responded yesterday on Ariel's show. So go and listen to Ariel Hawani's MMA show, yesterday's episode, the May 13th episode. Listen to my segment. It's timestamped on Ariel's channel. Listen to what I said. It is fire. It is fire. I dropped the mic on his head. He cannot say anything because I used facts. Straight up facts. There was no opinion. Facts in class. That's all it was. Go and listen and leave a comment on Ariel's channel. Tell Ariel, tell the community what you think about it. I think that's important to get our community interacting on there. Adrian says, I would like to learn about financial studies. Well, I will share that. Anthony, what are your thoughts of using a microwave to heat up meal prep and leftovers? I never use a microwave. Ever. I'll eat at room temperature. I take my meals. When I get to the office, I put my meals out on the table so they're room temperature by the time I'm ready to eat them. It's fine. They're pre-cooked. I don't care about heating my food. And when I'm home, I'll just use a skillet. I'll just use the plate or a pan to heat my food up. It takes no longer to heat your food up on a little covered pan or pot than it does to put it in the microwave. Beeg says Peter North always had perfect hair too. That is the truth. Luciana, hey Mike, I had recently competed in my sport and had no energy in my match. I ate mac and cheese, almonds, and had some fruit before. I'm wondering if this was not the right choice. Probably the mac and cheese is what fucked you up, man. That's an issue. Why mac and cheese? Are you crazy? That probably fucked you up. The almonds sound good. The fruit sounds good. Why mac and cheese? That's probably screwed you up. Sack says, have you ever dealt with depression? Absolutely. We all deal with depression. We all go through depression in different ways. For me, my ability to move helps keep my mind right the ability to move, the ability to set goals. That's why I set 5 goals for myself every day. It gives me something to focus on. 5 goals every single day allows me to build confidence in myself and in my abilities. It gives me something to look on and be proud of. Every single day, I set 5 goals for myself. Every single day, I set 5 goals for myself. That's 35 goals per week I set and accomplish. It's hard. It's possible, but it's much harder to be depressed or to be mopey and have self-loathing if you're setting that many goals for yourself every single day and you're attacking those goals every single day. Most people won't set one single goal for themselves a day, let alone one goal per week or month or even year. To sit down and write a goal for yourself and then to accomplish that. I do that 5 times per day, every single day in these categories: fitness, family, faith, finance, future. And then for me, fitness, family and faith mix in. Fitness, family and faith, finance, future, and for me, right? Because a lot of people say, what about faith? I get it. I wrap faith into the family concept. That all kind of fits in there for me, the way I do it. You can say 6 goals. I do my 5. It's all wrapped in nice. And I accomplish them every single day. I set them first thing in the morning and I get them done before I go to bed at night. That helps. Now, of course, we deal with depression. I deal with depression. I deal with people around me that I love that deal with depression, and friends and clients that deal with depression. We all deal with depression. Every human on the planet deals with depression in their own way. Sometimes it's extremely severe. Sometimes it is clinically diagnosable. So if you are feeling that, reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, reach out to a teammate, a coworker, a stranger, and go to see a doctor. Get help. Get someone to talk to you. Get someone to talk to you and to help you, and just know that the sun will come up tomorrow and it will be another day. It will be another day. And as bad as it feels right now, it will get better. It will get better. Everything will get better. The worst of the worst will become better. I grew up in a tough situation, a very, 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 very tough situation, bleak situation. I mean, it was hard. And that's probably why I'm more resilient now, because I was down in the dirt, in the bottom, in very tough, challenging times for a young man, for a child to go through. And the ability to go through that adversity and to come out on the other side, there's a power in that. And I know it's hard. And I know I'm just giving words right now, but it's also something that is real. But if you are feeling something, you are going through something, talk about it. Talk about it. Find someone near you, someone around you. Say, I need help. Can you talk? Let's chat. Let's go for a walk. And that's one of the most beautiful things for me, is just simply going for a walk. I work out most of the problems in my life when I go for a walk by myself. No earbuds, no cell phones, no nothing. Just me walking outside, breathing. I can settle a lot of my issues. So I hope that helps. Ricardo, what's good? Life is good, my friend. Dude, what's up, Dolce? John Holmes, Ghost here, and a huge fan of your show. That's funny. Jay said, your advice on finance is awesome. Started listening to the Dave Ramsey show, and I can see the similarities in the way you guys think. These are universal principles, right? That's why I like Dave so much, and he made so much sense, because he's talking principles. Once you talk about principles, you got me. That's why all the keto, all the fasting, all the macro, all that crap is just crap, because they're not talking principles. They're trying to differentiate themselves by using these little click funnels, these little buckets. And that's BS. Dave doesn't do that. And that's what I really appreciate about Dave. Couple more minutes, guys. Again, we're at 1:07. I've been going live, ranting live for 1:07 right now, which is awesome. Let's see. Almost there. What do you think about 20% body fat? 20% body fat puts you at high risk for all-cause mortality. We want to get our healthy adult males down below 14%. I want to see you down around 12%. For the ladies, we want the ladies in the mid-20s as a ceiling, with a little bit of float depending on curves, because some ladies are very curvaceous and very healthy with those curves. Other ladies are rather lean and not very healthy. They're actually too lean. So ladies have a little more of a fluctuation in total body fat percentage. So we say on average right around mid-20s to lower 20s for most ladies, and for guys right around mid-teens, lower teens for most guys. Ricardo says, I'm shredded right now, all natty. Amen, my friend. Good for you. Dustin Potter, get David Sinclair or Rhonda Patrick on your podcast. I'm going to try and get Dr. Patrick on soon. Jawaria says, Mr. Dolce, can you do some more videos on how to be smart with finances and investing, please? I just saw your other one and it blew my mind. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I will. If you guys ask for it, but you got to watch it. And if you watch it, share it. Share it on your channels. If you guys started sharing these videos onto your social channels, your Facebook pages, your Twitters, things like that, it will help generate a greater audience that shows me I can start creating content. Because for me to create, spend an hour, 2, 3 hours on some content for only a few people, that's tough, man. That's why I do a lot of these live streams so I can answer your question. But I'm down. I love it. If whatever I can do to help you guys, I am here. If you think that works, I'll do it. Beeg says, "Hey coach, have you ever prepared quinoa without a heat source? I'm going to try combining the quinoa and water in a Ziploc bag and keep it close to my body while hiking. Does that sound plausible?" Beeg, it doesn't sound plausible to me. It could work. Maybe if you kind of left it overnight in the bag, that might work well. I've never tried it, so I'd be curious to hear how it works. You can't light a fire. Just bring water to a boil, let it sit for 15 minutes. Robert says, thoughts on taking a step back a week from training every 4th week, 70% volume intensity. Yeah, I do deloads all the time. Erection overload. I'm a sissy. Wait a minute. That's not funny. Come on, let's not be crass on here. Like, we can have jokes and stuff. Let's not be crass. I'm Jason Montoya. Finally got my sister to eat a breakfast bowl. She loved it. Now everyone in my family is on the Dolce diet. Bam, Jason. That's what's up, my friend. Good to hear. Keep them healthy. Zippo, man, Dolce, eating my breakfast bowl and drinking green tea. You've changed my life. Thank you for all that you do. Right on. Happy to do it. Happy to be a part of the team. David Shepard, best thing for depression is to keep yourself busy and or do a sport. Love from Scotland. David, that's what I was talking about. Staying busy, staying active, having goals. I got so much stuff I have to accomplish during my day. That's positive. That drives me forward. It makes me feel good about myself. And most of it relates to doing things for people. And I think that's maybe something that I miss. Like, my fitness, me focused on fitness allows me to be more energized when I do focus on my family, when I can get out there and take better care of my wife and take better care of my daughters and take better care of my neighbors and better care of my mom and better care of my siblings, when I can take better care of my community, because you guys are a part of my family too. And sometimes my daily goal is to give you guys new content or interact and engage with you guys in another way. That becomes a part of it. Finances. The more finances I have, the more free things that I can do, the more opportunity I can have, the more youth programs, because we sponsor 4 youth programs right now. We run a nonprofit organization dedicated to eradicating childhood obesity and eating disorders. The more finances that I can generate, the more good I can do for the people around us, and the more community events that I can volunteer for and sponsor for. We're working on an initiative right now to start bringing in fitness equipment, free fitness equipment, to be scattered along the shoreline and the beaches and the parks, things that people, everyday normal people, can start to use for free. You can't afford to go to a gym. Well, you can just go to the beach and you can use some of these apparatus. So we're working on that stuff right now. Future, where do I want to be 3 years from now? What education do I need? What resources do I need? What network do I need? What experience do I need? Where do I want to be? What books do I have to read 3 years from now? So that's kind of what we do. Diego, appreciate you, sir, so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. David, best thing for answered that. Diego, Brandon, is there such a thing as too much work and the contribution to muscle imbalance? Well, yeah, you can do too much work. Always. Yeah, you can have too much sex, believe it or not. We can ask our buddy Peter North if that's possible, but I believe it's possible. Do you know who Brandon Carter is? I do. Brandon Carter is a very popular YouTube personality. I won't call him a coach because he's more of a personality, and I say that respectfully. I respect his hustle. He puts a lot of information out there to which I disagree with most of it. And he, like many in the industry, they use kind of that sexy style of marketing in order to sell a click funnel. And when I say a click funnel, it's just a means of differentiating themselves from the other personalities in the industry so they can sell you products. What we do here is we offer more robust education based upon principles, right? That's the focus of what we do. The Dolce Diet is a team of registered dietitians, exercise physiologists, certified trainers, sports scientists. Though I am a personality, my role is as a coach and as a trainer, as an educator. It is not as a fitness YouTuber. I have nothing bad to say about Brandon per se. I don't really follow his channel, but I'm familiar because he's referenced from time to time. But I'm not a keto advocate, and I believe he was for some time. But you usually, if you go back, you'll see that he and guys like him and Kino Body and some of the others, Eric Berg and Tom DeLauer, all reputable in their way. they all play the game. They all play the hashtag game, the SEO game. And that's not something that we do over here, though. We run a very successful, very much in more successful business than most of them do. But we're not professional YouTubers like they are. So I hope that answers your question. And I'd love to talk to maybe Brandon Carter or Vegan Gains or Eric Berg or Tom DeLauer or any of those other YouTubers out there. They want to have a chat, I'll chat it up. My channel, your channel, don't matter. Because I think we have some good conversations to be had. Bella says, I have your books in my cart. I'm about to buy them. Bella, that's awesome. Please keep me posted. Let me know when you get them. Take a photo and hashtag it on Instagram or wherever. Let me know. And if you ever need any help, I'm always here for you to answer your questions. I do these lives every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a IG live every single day on our Instagram channel. I'm happy to answer your questions. You can always even send me a DM. I answered every single question that I see. I don't always see all the questions because I get quite a bit, and Instagram only archives 99 questions. So if you're like question 1 and 100 questions come through, you'll get pushed off. That happens from time to time. Juaria says, Mr. Dolce, you killed it on the Ariel Helwani show. Couldn't have said it better. Well, I appreciate that. And everyone should go and listen to Ariel Helwani's MMA show. If you want to have some fun today, I roast this dude. And I'm saying that with humility. I roast this dude who called me out, unsolicited, called me out. I am in Disney World with my daughters, the happiest place on the planet. And this fool calls up Ariel Helwani, goes on his show and calls me out and says he wants to punch me in the face for no other reason other than telling the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is this person is the least credible individual in the weight management world of combat sports. He has had more athletes, to my knowledge, miss weight and be hospitalized than any other weight management coach in the history of combat sports. Can you believe that? Athletes pulled from cards, main events pulled from cards due to the extreme nature of his weight cutting practices. Khabib Nurmagomedov said, I almost died while under this guy's care. Max Holloway pulled from 2 UFC main events and hospitalized twice while under this guy's care. Chris Cyborg said, I almost died while working with this guy. She fired him immediately afterwards. Who else? Mike Chiesa said, I almost died while under this guy's care. Paige Van Zandt laid on the floor, passed out, praying to God that she wouldn't die following this guy's weight cutting protocols. The list goes on and on and on. And this is all on the public record. This is all factual. This is all out there. This isn't my opinion. This is all the truth. And this fool comes on Ariel's channel and calls me out. Isn't that crazy? We have a 100% success ratio while working with the world's greatest athletes. How about that? 100% of our athletes have made weight and competed in a healthy manner. How about that? And this fool wants to call me out and punch me in the face? That's crazy. I could go on and on and on, but I do suggest you go to Ariel Helwani's MMA show, the May 13th episode. Watch my segment. It's a 20-minute segment or so. It is nonstop fire. And leave a comment on Ariel's channel supporting or voicing your support, please. I appreciate that. But be classy and be factual. Don't be mean. Don't be nasty. Be you. Be classy. Be factual. Right things. Mike, when are you coming to Elkton High School and teaching a practice or doing a video on my channel? Brother, shoot me a message again. Shoot me a message. My schedule has been insane. Shoot me like a Twitter or an Insta. I forget where we always meet up. Shoot me a Twitter and Insta and let's chat about it. I would certainly love to come down. Bella says, appreciate your honesty and sincerity, sir. Well, I appreciate that. And I know you guys can tell, right? You can look through the camera and you can tell when people are full of shit and people are telling the truth. That's why I do these lives. And that's why I answer every single question, because you can tell if I'm full of shit, if I'm sincere. And hopefully you can tell that I am honest, I am open, I am transparent, and I just care. I am here to help you guys. I do these completely for free for you. Answer as many questions as I can for free constantly to help you guys be better, live better, be happier, be sexier, be richer, be healthier, live longer, all that fun stuff. I'm trying to help do this all together and help educate. Teach you every single thing I know so you guys can get out there and do it yourself. Let's see. Appreciate your honesty and sincerity. Please come to the UK to do it. Meet and greet. Jory, we are. Have you heard of Fight Tips with Shane Faison? Any chance you'll do a collaboration on his channel? I have never heard it before. Corey Anderson mentioned you. Can you send me a link to that? I didn't hear anything about this. Ricardo, it'd be interesting to hear. Dolce, you crushed him. You are levels above his integrity. That guy is a loser. Isn't that the truth? Bill K, you have changed my life and the way I eat. I bought your book and I'm eating less quantity and more frequency. I'm soaking up all of your advice. Thumbs up. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. David Ruiz, has there been any new additions to your online program? I was a member 2 years on there. Yeah, every 6 months or so we update. So any 2 years ago. So the site right now is completely different than it was 2 years ago. If you go to thedolcediet.com, sign up for the 4-week or the 12-week program, take a look. If it's not different, let us know. We'll give you your money back. No problem. There's a 24-hour money back guarantee. If you get on there, you don't like it, you get your money back. Not a problem. No problem at all. We want you to be super stoked, super happy. So everyone go to thedolcediet.com. The 4-week or the 12-week online weight loss program is there for you. It's completely personalized. Now is the time. Summer is here. Summer is here. Let's get in shape. 21 pounds in 21 days. That's the goal. That's the goal. Not everyone will lose that. Some people will lose more. Some people will lose a little bit less. It depends on what you have to lose. But it is healthy. It is effective. This is the same program the world's greatest athletes use. It's all at thedolcediet.com. Lose weight, get in shape, feel better all right now. And use promo code DolceTube. But David, let me know, my friend. Let me know. Brandon, coach, difference between hypertrophy and muscle adaptation strength training. Well, hypertrophy is growth, right? That's the actual growth, the volumization of the cells. And there's myofibrillar hypertrophy and sacroplasmic hypertrophy. Two basically different styles of growth, but that's just growth, and that's the volumization of the individual fiber or the cell itself. Then we talk about muscle adaptation and strength training. Well, sometimes it's simply the neuromuscular efficiency of the motor unit requirements, the motor unit excitement of moving the weight through the proper biomechanical path, right? So you become better at that. Your muscles might not get any bigger initially, but you become better and more proficient at moving weight. So then you're getting stronger. You're adapting to moving the load in a much more efficient manner. Greedy Salvation. I hope someone pays you that $500K. Me too. Half goes straight to charity. Straight to charity. Greedy Salvation, Kickstarter, hint, hint. The right things will do, good sir. Thanks. Timothy, just curious, if Zero Integrity George is so bad, why do high-level fighters use him? Smoke and mirrors, con jobs, super low prices will work for tweets. Defamation, slander, putting himself, into a position. But here's the thing. Fighters did use him, but now they're not anymore because the truth has come out and people know. Long before I ever opened my mouth, his business is already, nearly cut in half from what I understand. His business is just unraveling around him, which is why he calls me out, in order to gain relevance and get some hits. Remember, he mentioned my name. That got him some notoriety, but it's not the notoriety that he was hoping for or looking for. Tony, nothing's more annoying to most of us serving than when a former Marine brings up their past service multiple times. Like, that means that they are beyond being called out. Tony, and that was really the sad thing. That was the sad thing, because it has nothing to do with anything other than what he's doing right now as a nutrition coach, right? And right there, that showed that he was trying to hide behind his service. And that's very, very worthy of criticism. And I appreciate you being a former Marine and shouting that out. And I never criticized anyone on his team. Dan Leith, I have great respect for. I think Dan is awesome. And I've said that before. And people do know that. But there's other individuals, to my knowledge, there was one of his coaches was actually banned for life from the UFC Performance Institute. Kicked out and banned for life, is never allowed to walk into the UFC Performance Institute. This is a coach of George's. This is one of George's coaches, banned for life for what was told to me off the record was extremely creepy and unprofessional behavior. Banned for life, right? This is one of the individuals I have spoken publicly about. Ian Kidd, infamous, defamed former journalist, was a business partner of George. They were writing 2 books together. Is seen all over the internet wearing George's business t-shirt and bragging about how George would bring him to fight camps, bring him into athletes' rooms, and trusted him to do the rehydration and reloads for his athletes. Now, I'm not even going to say what this person is convicted of, but this person has been convicted of disgusting, vile crimes. This is someone who I've spoken about. So George tried to spin it as if I was talking about other individuals who I actually publicly like, and talking about the disgusting scumbags in his business. And he was using his service to deflect against that. That is disgusting. And that's shameful. That's why I call him Zero Integrity George. The skin under your eyes is so clear. Well, thank you. I wish you were still in the business, someone who actually cares about the fighters. I do a lot of consulting, but I'm not going to leave my family. I'm not going to leave my daughters. I'm not going to leave to work. For the 3 years before my oldest daughter was born, I was on the road over 250 days. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. I will not do that. I've done that. Zach wanted to become a personal trainer as a side job. Any tips and certifications besides the DDC? And what are trainers allowed to give clients diet plans? I know there are rules around trainers and nutrition. Well, Zach, you want to look at the NASM, NASM, or the NSCA as far as being CPT, Certified Personal Trainer certificates. I would strongly endorse those. Look into those. Dr. John Berardi has a good nutrition curriculum. I think Rob Wolf has a good nutrition curriculum that you can look into. Tony Ricci at the Fight Science Institute has a great certification program and educational conference. Joe DeFranco has a CPPC. I forget what his certification is. Joe DeFranco has a great one also. Mikey Carroll, advice for service workers on a tugboat for sleep. I only get 4 to 5 hours of sleep 2 times a day due to mandatory schedule. Thanks, Coach. Mikey, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one, brother. But if that's what it is, that's what it is. So when you get home, you got to really focus on rest and recovery. You got to be careful. I would get your blood work done constantly. And I would pull back. I would truly save as much money as you can until you can find another lifestyle. You can't be living like that. You can't live on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. 4 to 5 hours at a time. You have to get at least 7.5 hours of sleep. You have to. I can't stress that enough. So do what you have to do right now. But as soon as you can make a change, my friend. What your thoughts on BJ losing to Guida? Man, fight game is tough. Fight game is tough, right? Clay Guida's tough. All those dudes are tough. They're all tough guys. They're all tough guys in the UFC. There's no easy fight in the UFC. I think that's all I'm going to say. Sean, zero vegetables, George. Hey, exactly. Did you like that one, Sean? Did you watch the Ariel Helwani show yesterday, man? I think you would enjoy that. I had some fun there. I got to tell you. Good times, good stuff. All right, guys and gals. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you being here. It's an hour, 25 minutes into this live stream. Remember, leave a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate it, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay. Leave a thumbs up. That lets me know that you're here and you care. Hopefully, it allows YouTube to know that you actually appreciate our content. And go and watch Ariel Helwani's show, MMA show, the May 13th episode. Just type in Ariel Helwani, Mike Dolce. It's probably the first thing that pops up. Watch the segment with me. It's time-stamped in the description. You'll see my segment, watch that segment, and then leave a comment on Ariel's page under the video, just stating your opinion on what you think about the debate, we'll say. But be classy, be factual, be classy. Don't drop our level. Don't drop your level to the dirt. Let's see. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Mike. You got it. George has a video feeding fighters Chinese post weigh-in. I'm sure, man. I know so many things because I get the athletes, I get the coaches, I get the spouses of the athletes sometimes. Like, what are you doing, Dolce? Like, save us. I'm like, what can I do? Coaches, agents, managers, teammates, friends, family members, while he's there working, just feeding them this bullshit. I get that. I got that. I got all that on my phone. It's crazy. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep living my best life. I appreciate all you guys being here once again. Remember to listen to the Mike Dolce Show podcast. I think you will, of course, appreciate that. The right things. I will check it out. Rain says, Dragon Ball Sinister on. Okay, what is that? Brad Ramsey says, followed both the Dolce diet and zero integrity George plans before an MMA fight. My opinion, the difference between the two is ridiculous. Dolce diet all the way, better food, more help, plus guidance, and way cheaper. That's what we do. We over deliver. We allow access to every person out there. Brad, I'm happy to hear that, my friend. Happy that you had such good success following our program, and sad that you had some trouble while following his. but now you know the right way to go. Speaking of the right things, can't wait to watch the Ariel interview today. Definitely watch the video and definitely leave a comment. I'm going to go back later on today. I want to see all your comments. I want to see all your names. Be smart, be witty, be funny, be classy, be factual. And until next time, remember, I'll be back on Friday right here, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing another live. I'm doing this one today because we were at Disney World last week and I could not get a quiet enough room. Actually, that's really the big issue, or a solid internet connection. Until next time, guys and gals, boom.